Right now at 5, recreational marijuana in Missouri might be legal, but it's raising a whole new crop of problems for schools.
We have an alert day for today as we're expecting some strong to severe thunderstorms to start moving into the area this morning. We'll break it all down coming up.
And gun sales on the rise. KOAM Shagun Bamadale takes us to a gun shop in Joplin to see what's behind the increase in sales and firearm training classes.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we do have an alert day today. We are expecting some strong to severe thunderstorms this morning. And I know that even Doug mentioned this yesterday. I mentioned it yesterday morning. It is uncommon for us to see a severe threat this early in the morning, but it is expected. So we do have that alert day. We're expecting these storms between 6 and 11 this morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker already showing within the last half hour or so some scattered showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder starting to develop across part of the area right there along I-44. Bigger batch of showers and thunderstorms developing across northeast Oklahoma and more back towards central Oklahoma. And we also, on top of that, we know it's been breezy. We do have a wind advisory for northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas through 6 o'clock this evening. That's the one good thing, is winds should start to calm down a little earlier this evening than we originally expected, which is nice. But until then, it's going to be breezy. Here's what we're looking at. We've got a low-end tornado threat, low-end hail risk, and we've got a medium wind risk for those of us in the yellow. Wind is looking to be the primary threat with any storms we see. However, as indicated here, there is that low possibility of maybe a tornado or two. It's very low, but not zero, and we could see some of these storms produce some large hail as we go through the morning. So here we are looking at about 6 o'clock. We'll have those scattered showers, thunderstorms rolling through the area, and these scattered storms and showers will hold on with us through the majority of our morning, which is why we do have that severe threat through at least 11 o'clock. Now, as we head into the noon hour, we're still dealing with some of the wrapping up of this system as we see more showers, maybe some thunderstorms by noon. But as we head into the early afternoon, we're going to be left with just some scattered showers, and eventually we'll clear out. But what's unique about this particular system is, yes, cold air is on the way behind it. However, it won't start moving in until later. As you can see, once the rain clears out, we're still not too bad. It's not until later this evening and overnight the temperatures really start to drop. Not looking at a ton of rain for all of us. We're looking anywhere from 1/10 of an inch, half an inch. As you head a little further south, maybe an inch, inch and a half of rain. And of course, we could see some locally heavier amounts within some of the thunderstorms. MoDOT camera, 30-second and range line. We got some showers, say around 4 o'clock this morning in the Joplin area. Those have since dried up. 7th and range line, here's what we're looking at right now. We got the cloudy skies, 68 degrees. It's almost 70. It's February 22nd. And it's almost 70 degrees at 5 a.m. South breeze at 18, gusting to 29. Our humidity and dew point up there. Mild temperatures across the region, 60 in Iola, 67 in Parsons, 70 Miami, 68 in Neosho and Carthage. So we are very warm this morning. And by the way, this is where we're going to hit our high temperatures. We'll still be, again, mild through the day, but not as mild. Thunderstorms through 11 o'clock, at least through the noon hour for some of us. Temperatures will start just hovering in the lower 60s, upper 50s. So our high today of about 69, we hit that earlier today. Got the thunderstorms through about noon, maybe some showers by this afternoon, and then just windy conditions. Winds start letting up this evening. We will eventually drop to a low of about 35 degrees, but it will be a little bit before we get to that point. As you can see, we're only down to 49 by 10. However, as we're a little warmer here in southwest Missouri and parts of northeast Oklahoma, you go further northwest, Yates Center, Chanute, Iola, you're going to be about 20 degrees cooler already as that cooler air works in a little earlier. Again, we don't have any active watches or warnings at this point, but should that change, we will let you know about that. And of course, we'll be tracking these storms all morning long. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A sheriff says a change in Missouri's marijuana laws may have brought problems to schools. Newton County Sheriff Chris Jennings says since the legalization of recreational marijuana in Missouri, his resource officers have seen more cases of students possessing marijuana in a couple of the schools. He says the uptick has been primarily in high schools, but they're also starting to see cases in middle schools. Jennings says students do not only have marijuana with them, but also cannabis edibles.
It's easier access now for the kids to get. Obviously, there's more of it out and about, and some of them feel that they need to take it to school, I guess.
Jennings also says marijuana is not good for children with developing minds. Law enforcement's part is to turn children over to juvenile authorities. A Joplin gun shop is seeing an increase in gun sales and firearm classes. KOAM Shagun Bombadali spoke to a Joplin gun shop, and has more.
Joplin Center Fire is seeing a surge in the number of people visiting the store, which has resulted in a significant increase in sales. The store owner attributes the increase in sales to rising crime rates.
It seems like the drug trafficking through the area has increased in the last few years. Along with that's come the crime that follows that, because with the sales along with that here has come an increase in personal protection training that we've seen in the last year or two, more than we've seen in the last 5 years we've been open.
Tyler says there is some panic among gun buyers.
Is there panic right now within the gun owner community about government overreach? Yes. Is there always panic within small communities about violent crime and how to protect yourself? Yes. As of recently, though, the behavior of the consumer wanting to educate themselves how to deal with that, purchase the tool to help themselves deal with that, and educate themselves how to deal with that, I think, yes, there has been an increase in that.
A local community member who is a first-time gun owner and also taking firearm classes cites that safety is a top priority for her.
And yes, there are people out there I worry about hurting me. So, and then the hardest part is the unknown, the people you don't know. And I've noticed the homeless population's growing, which means there's people that are desperate. And I do move about all by myself. That makes me a target, and I just want to protect myself.
I think also people are starting to realize that they're more responsible for their own personal safety. It would be nice if the police were on every block, but they're not. So I think people are taking a little more responsibility on their own to provide for their own safety.
Reporting in Joplin, Shagun Bombadali, KOAM News.
According to the FBI in Missouri, background checks skyrocketed from more than 36,000 in 2019 to over 40,000 as of January of 2023. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the Columbus girls hit the road to compete in the state wrestling tournament. Do the Titans have what it takes to pin the competition? Chris has the details in sports. Plus, the Kansas Attorney General warns Walgreens not to mail abortion pills into the Sunflower State under penalty of Kansas law. And we meet a couple who thought they were close until an organ donation brought them even closer. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, this week is the final week of the regular season for the Neosho boys basketball team. The Wildcats played 2 games this week, starting last night with their final home game against COC rival Carthage. Neosho is coming off a loss to Republic, but they have won 11 of their last 13 games. Carthage 14-10 coming into the night. In the first quarter, teams going back and forth. Max Templeman, hot start, drives straight to the rim and finishes with the left. Moments later, not a replay, Templeman again. He knocks down 30 for Carthage. Tigers up early. Other end, Neosho has the answer. Carter Fensky knocks home the 3 for the Wildcats. Then Isaiah Green, tough drive. Contact, but no foul. Green scores 18 for the Wildcats. Neosho within 3 at half. In the third quarter, check out Justin Ray getting up for the one-handed jam. He scores 14 for the Tigers. But Neosho finishes this one off. Carter Bosley inside, scores 18. The Wildcats win a good one in their home finale, 72-67. In Southeast Kansas, the Colgan girls finish up the regular season against Girard on Tuesday night. Colgan wins big with senior Lauren Torrance leading the way with 20 points. With that win, the Panthers finish their second straight undefeated regular season. They're 19-0 heading into sub-state, and they're the outright CNC League champions.
I think it's really awesome. You know, it's not something you really think about in the beginning. You just take it game by game, but as it gets a little bit closer, you know, you want to finish the business, and that's what I told them tonight, that there's no reason not to. And I think the kids were really excited, you know, for the opportunity. But one thing this year we really focused on is game by game, and, you know, at the end we're here, but it's really exciting. I just think the kids, they have fun, they enjoy each other, and they bring it for each other every night.
Missouri Southern Lions will play their MIAA opener on Friday against conference rival Pittsburg State. First, though, they had one more non-conference game at home yesterday afternoon against Drury. The Lions are 8-4 coming into the day, ranked number 21 in the nation. Drury gets one in the top of the first and still has bases loaded. The Webb City kid Cole Gaiman gets a big strikeout to get out of the jam. He strikes out 5. Lions down 2-0 in the second. Garrett Rice hits a laser to center field, goes right off the fence out there. Henry Kuziak comes in to score, double for Rice. He drives in 4. Next batter, another Webb City kid. It's Tregan Parker. Big swing to right center. Thought he hit it out, but it's also off the wall. Rice scores, triple for Parker. He goes 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Lions go up 3-2 after 2. In the fourth, Ryan Doran, he also had a big day, drills it to right. Eventually, it hops over the fence for a ground rule double. Doran also homered later in the game and goes 2 for 3. Back to the top of the order, Nate Myskowski up. He drops one into right to bring Doran home. Missouri Southern finishes this one off. Lions beat Drury 13-5. Pittsburg State Gorillas also saw action on Tuesday. They made the road trip to Oklahoma Baptist for a non-conference game. Gorillas not able to stay in it, falling 9-1. Trey McClellan gets the lone RBI of the day with a solo home run in the 8th. Well, this week is state championship week for high school wrestling in Kansas. First round of the girls' state tournament begins today. Now, the Columbus girls hit the road to Salina earlier on Tuesday for the state championships. They have high expectations this week. Titans have 7 wrestlers qualified for state. 5 of those are ranked individually in their respective weight classes. And as a team, they head into championship weekend ranked 3rd in the state.
Coach Bowman mentioned to us, just everyone placing, everyone winning their first 2 matches, and we automatically place if we win our first 2. So everyone's goal is to place this year, and we'll see a lot of success as a team if we do that.
It's such an amazing experience I get to have with my girls, and we're just going to go all out there and show the state what we got. State is a big thing, but just focusing on it's just another tournament, but just give it your all and just leave nothing out there. Us and the staffs being in our senior year, just leave it all out there and never quit, and it'll be worth it in the end.
Still to come, the modern Cold War heats up as President Biden rallies NATO support for Ukraine, and Russian President Vladimir Putin announces his country plans to pull out of a major arms treaty. And we're going to take another look at our severe weather threat when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We do have our alert day for today with severe thunderstorms possible this morning between about 6 and 11. We'll be keeping an eye on that here. Getting some development right along and south of I-44 across parts of southwest Missouri into northeast Oklahoma, and some showers out to our west. And then back across northeast Oklahoma, we are watching these thunderstorms out here as they're moving off to the north-northeast at almost 70 miles an hour. We're also anticipating within the, that's not the right tool, but that'll work. Within the next hour or so, a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas. So when that comes down, we will let you know about that. On top of everything else, we know it's windy. We have wind advisories northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas through 6 this evening. And here's what we're looking at in terms of threat. Now, we have a low tornado threat and a low hail risk. It's not 0 for those, but it is relatively low. Our greatest risk for any of these storms is going to be damaging straight line winds. So that's what we're really going to be watching. But of course, there is that possibility of an isolated tornado or 2 and maybe some isolated large hail out there as well. These storms are going to hold with us as we go through the morning hours, and they will continue to possibly pack a punch all the way through the 11 o'clock hour. By the time we get to noon, we're on the back edge of these storms. Could still see some thunderstorms at the noon hour, but they'll be on their way out. By 2, just a few scattered showers left, and after we get past that, we're going to be clearing out. Partly cloudy skies, and temperatures not looking too bad either. We do have that cool down coming, but that won't be until later tonight and into the overnight hours. So here's what we're looking at in terms of rain. You can see where we're expecting some of the heavier rain from a ½ inch to 1.5 inches. Southeast Kansas looking about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. And of course, any thunderstorms we see could have some locally heavier amounts of rain. 32nd and range line MoDOT camera. You can see some raindrops on the camera as showers are starting to move back into the area. 68 in Joplin right now. so abnormally warm for this time of year and this time of day. South breeze at 18, gusting upwards of 29, and it is mild across the area. 60 Iola, 67 Chanute Parsons, 70 in Miami, 68 Neosho and Carthage, and 67 in Lamar and Nevada this morning. Those, by the way, are going to be our high temperatures. We've reached our peak, but we're not going to get super cool again until late. Thunderstorms persisting through the morning hours along with gusty winds, temperatures in the lower 60s. And as we go through the day, like I said, we've hit our high already early this morning. We'll be in the lower 60s, upper 50s, and we'll just be partly cloudy and breezy as we head into the afternoon. We're down to 35 for our overnight low tonight, and that again will come late. Now, as we head into the evening, some of our folks up in to the northwest, say Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, you're going to be about 20 degrees cooler a little earlier than the rest of us in parts of extreme southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma, and we'll have those partly cloudy to mostly clear skies as we head through the night. After we get through this, we are colder tomorrow, but more sunshine, 44 down to 25 tomorrow night. Some evening showers Friday, maybe again on Saturday, 47 up to 54, 63 Sunday, maybe some evening hours. We could see some morning thunderstorms. They're looking at the possibility of some severe thunderstorms out to our west on Sunday, and those storms should be in their dying state by the time they get here Monday morning, but we could get some residual thunderstorm activity. 56 Monday, and take a look at these temperatures, though, up through Wednesday into the 60s yet again. And we got some showers possible Wednesday, again on Thursday and Friday. And Friday, again, as we cool back down, we could see some light showers, maybe a light wintry mix. So, again, overall, not a bad forecast. Plenty of much needed rain out there across the region, rain that we absolutely need. Our drought situation, a lot of us in southeast Kansas still in severe and extreme drought levels. We're seeing some improvements. We're just not seeing enough, and the more rain we can get, the better. And it's best that it's spread out like this instead of all at once, because we don't want to deal with too much rain in too short a time. Again, we're expecting a severe thunderstorm watch for northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas by about 6 a.m. We'll bring that to you, and we'll track these storms as they develop. We'll be back with more right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a Virginia husband and wife say they always thought they were a perfect match. And now after one of them needed a life-saving organ transplant, they're more validated than ever. Antoinette Delbel has their story.
Terry Jang and Aaron Lee knew they had a strong bond when they got married 15 years ago.
Just so happy to have her.
And that connection is even stronger now.
Just knowing that he had the guts to do something so big and so brave, it's like true love.
Terry found out she had stage 5 kidney failure more than a year ago. The 36-year-old thought she'd be on dialysis for the rest of her life, until the day she got the call from her doctors.
I didn't believe it, nor he didn't believe it neither. They would tell us, well, you guys are a perfect match. We looked at each other like, did we hear the wrong thing?
And Lee was ready to donate his kidney to his wife.
My husband's sacrificing for me.
The transplant surgery was performed last month.
When it comes to a kidney transplant, that's the scariest thing for me. But because, so many episodes that she go do, it just makes me become a stronger and stronger person.
While more people are signing up to become donors, the need for organs is still critical. More than 105,000 people are on the national transplant waiting list. Douglas Wilson is the executive vice president at LifeNet Health, which handles organ transplants in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
The wait for a kidney in the United States is generally over a 5-year period. So if someone is healthy and is a match, they can live a perfectly normal, productive life with one kidney. Living donation is a great thing because you can see immediately the results of the gift that you gave.
He gave me a second chance of life.
And with this new gift of life, the couple is now hoping to start a family. Antoinette Delbel, CBS News, James City County, Virginia.
It's estimated 17 people die every day waiting for an organ transplant. That's a look at one of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are continuing to watch the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms today. We have a low-end tornado risk and a low-end hail risk. Both of those not zero, but they're fairly low. But we could see some isolated large hail and possibly an isolated tornado or two. The biggest risk with the storms we're expecting this morning is going to be straight line damaging winds, and that will start to pick up here in the next hour or so. And as mentioned, we're anticipating a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas here in the next about half hour or so. These showers and thunderstorms will last with us through the majority of the morning, which is why our severe threat goes until 11 o'clock, and we'll of course be here tracking those for you. Not a ton of rain, but anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch in southeast Kansas and from 1/2 an inch to 1.5 inches in southwest Missouri. And of course, as these storms develop, we'll continue to track them for you. We'll be back with more right after this.
Right product right now.
Right now at 5:30, farmers to the rescue. A Southwest Missouri organization wants to make sure everyone in the community has food to eat.
We do have an alert day for us today as we're still expecting strong to severe thunderstorms between about 6 and 11 o'clock this morning. We'll take a look at the current situation and let you know what's coming up here in just a few minutes.
And we meet a man who lost the use of his legs due to an autoimmune disorder, but that did not stop him from becoming a champion.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we are anticipating some strong to severe thunderstorms here in the next hour or so across the area. And that's why we do have an alert day for us out there. Those storms between 6 and 11 this morning. And here's a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. We have the showers out to the west. We're watching some thunderstorm activity try to get going across southwest Missouri and into northeast Oklahoma. But the bigger batch of activity down here across northeastern Oklahoma, moving north-northeast at almost 70 miles an hour. And we're also anticipating a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of northeast Oklahoma and into northwest Arkansas here in the next half hour or so. And once that comes down, we'll alert you to what's going on. We also have the wind advisories, northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas through 6 this evening, because as we know, it is breezy. Here's what we're looking at in terms of the threat. We have a low-end tornado threat and a low-end large hail risk. Now, these are both not zero, but they're very low at this particular point. The medium risk is for wind, and we're looking at the possibility of some damaging straight-line winds with these storms as they roll through this morning. So that's our biggest threat. These storms will be going by about 6:15 across the region. They will persist through the morning hours, and again, some of those could continue to be strong to severe. By the time we get to noon, we're kind of on the backside of the thunderstorms out there. We could still see a few, but they're going to start to roll out. By 2, we're left with just a few scattered showers, and after that, we're going to be partly cloudy and still in the lower 60s, upper 50s for most of us. In terms of the rain, we're expecting southeast Kansas a little bit less, maybe 1/10 to 1/2 an inch of rain, and then in southwest Missouri, parts of northeast Oklahoma, 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches out there, and of course we could see some locally higher amounts with some of the thunderstorms. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line. Rain is falling once again in the Joplin area. Same at 7th and range line. You can see it right there. We're at 68 in Joplin. South breeze at 18, gusting to 29. And our temperatures right now are about our highs for today. We're at 67 Fort Scott, 70 Miami, 68 in Neosho, 67 in Carthage. Again, showers, thunderstorms, windy conditions through the morning hours. Some of those could be strong to severe. Temperatures in the lower 60s as we get into the afternoon. Again, our high has already been hit. We'll be in the lower 60s. Showers clear out by 2. We're left with partly cloudy, breezy. And as we head into tonight, we will eventually drop down to 35 early tomorrow morning, but we're slow to get there for some of us. We'll be partly cloudy to mostly clear. We'll continue to track the storms as they move in and bring you any severe weather alerts as they come in as well. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Brian Abbey was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder that took his ability to use his legs. After being treated at the Madonna Rehabilitation Hospital, Brian was back on his feet after 3 months. Doctors speculated Brian would never walk again, and that didn't stop his passion for cornhole.
I mean, it's been a struggle, but hey, you know what? I'm blessed. I started getting my movements, my toes first, then doing this, and basically then I started pushing on a bike, and the next thing I did is start kicking my feet up. I mean, just step by step. I mean.
Brian dedicates his speedy recovery to the Madonna Rehabilitation Hospital's specialized equipment, and we'll have more on this story in our 6 o'clock show. Well, some folks in Webb City enjoyed the nice weather, might noticed some new additions to King Jack Park. The park now has 4 new concrete memorial benches around the walking track. They're part of an ongoing program offered through the city's Parks Department. A city official says a total of 13 memorial park benches are now in city parks. You can find them just about anywhere in the park.
Basically, around the trails, around the ponds, we have a bunch of trails, and so people that exercise, people that walk, people that just want to take in the awesome view, can sit down for a moment, and they're able to do that with benches or tables, or a family that comes out wants to have lunch or something like that. They're in the park, they can utilize those tables or benches.
Anyone can get a bench of their own. You just have to contact the city and pay for the bench. Each bench costs around $1,200. The Southwest Missouri organization is trying to make sure everyone in the community has access to fresh produce. 100 Women Who Care chapter of Jasper and Newton counties donated $3,600 to the Webb City Farmers Market WIC program. That program helps provide fresh fruits and vegetables to families in need.
Well, basically the way it works is we have to have enough money available in order to issue a certain number of vouchers, or to issue any vouchers, and if that pool of money runs out, we have to stop issuing those vouchers. And in at least 5 years, we haven't had to stop issuing vouchers. We've been able to bring in enough funds to keep it going.
The Webb City Farmers Market is open on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon. Well, this morning, we're discussing the politics of abortion.
Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach recently sent a letter to Walgreens warning them that sending abortion pills to Kansas through the mail would be in violation of Kansas law.
Earlier this year, the FDA finalized a rule change under the Biden administration allowing pharmacies to seek certification to dispense the abortion pill. CVS and Walgreens are 2 of the groups currently seeking that certification.
Now, Kansas law states it's mandatory for a doctor to be present whenever any abortion procedure or pill is administered. Recently, Kansas voted that abortion would remain constitutionally protected in the state. And that brings us to our question for you this morning. Should abortion pills be allowed through the mail? Yes or no? So far, it's a 50-50 split, so make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page.
All right. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. Don't worry if you haven't been working on your core strength, because the Earth has. We take you to the center of the Earth to find out just what the core is made of.
And we're continuing to track showers and thunderstorms moving into the area. Some of those could be strong to severe. We'll bring you the latest coming up.
Topping World Watch as Russia's war on Ukraine approaches the 1-year mark. President Biden is in Poland today meeting with NATO allies. Now, yesterday, the president gave a major speech declaring support for Ukraine and NATO. While in Moscow, Russia's president said he's pulling Russia out of a major arms treaty. Jared Hill has more.
On his final day in Poland, President Biden will meet with NATO allies on the eastern flank, a group known as the Bucharest Nine, along with NATO's Secretary General.
The United States will stand firmly by our commitments inside NATO, inside Article 5 commitment to defend one another if one another is attacked.
Hello, Poland! Yesterday, the president delivered a defiant speech in Warsaw, declaring unwavering support of Kyiv and NATO, while slamming Russia's invasion of Ukraine nearly 1 year ago.
This war is never a necessity. It's a tragedy. President Putin chose this war. Every day the war continues is his choice.
Just hours earlier, Russian President Vladimir Putin addressed his supporters, blaming the West for the war in Ukraine and suspending Moscow's involvement in the last remaining nuclear arms reduction treaty with the U.S.
It's unfortunate. Frankly, we find it irresponsible for a modern nuclear power such as Russia to pull out of this very significant key arms control agreement.
But Russia's foreign minister later said it would abide by the treaty. The United Nations is urging cooperation.
A world without nuclear arms control is a far more dangerous and unstable one, with potentially catastrophic consequences.
All the while, a U.S. official tells CBS News Russia carried out a failed intercontinental ballistic missile test on Monday during President Biden's visit to Kyiv. Jared Hill, CBS News.
National Security Council's John Kirby tells CBS News that the federal government will continue to monitor Russia's nuclear posture, and that so far there's no indication that Putin is willing or preparing to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got our alert day for today as we're anticipating some strong to severe thunderstorms to move into the area between about 6 and 11 this morning. So here's what we're looking at on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Some showers, some thunderstorms trying to get going across parts of southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma. And we're watching this batch of showers and storms start to roll off to the northeast, and they're moving at roughly 70 miles an hour in some cases. We're expecting in the next about 20 minutes or so a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas. When that comes in, we will let you know about it, of course. In the meantime, we know it's breezy. Wind advisories, northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas through 6 this evening. Here's a look at the threats that we're anticipating today. We have a low tornado risk for those in the brown here. Same with the hail. Our biggest threat from these storms, we have that medium risk for some straight line damaging winds. The hail and tornado threat are both quite low. They're not zero, but they're very low at this particular point. But again, wind, the biggest threat that we're anticipating today. These showers and storms will be ongoing with us throughout the morning hours. And again, some of those could be on the strong to severe side. Once we reach about noon, we still have a few stray showers and thunderstorms out there, but they're going to start to lose their intensity and eventually start to roll out. We could still see a few scattered showers by 2 o'clock, but after that, we start to see partly cloudy skies and things stay mild, at least temporarily. Looking about a tenth of an inch to half an inch of rain in southeast Kansas, and then half inch to maybe even an inch and a half in parts of southwest Missouri. And of course, we could see locally higher amounts with some of the thunderstorms. Rain's been falling in the Joplin area, as evident on the MoDOT camera at 32nd and range line. 7th and range line. Looks like now the rain has stopped. We got 68, south breeze at 18, gusting to 29 out there. Very mild for this time of year and this time of day. 63 Iola, 67 Parsons, Pittsburgh, 69 Miami, and 67 Neosho, Carthage, Lamar, and Nevada. Again, showers and thunderstorms, some strong, continuing through the morning hours. Will also be windy outside of the thunderstorms themselves. Temperatures in the lower 60s. We hit our high, and some of us are still at that point early this morning. For the rest of the day, we're going to be in those lower 60s. We'll have those showers clearing out by 2. We'll be left with partly cloudy and breezy conditions by 4. This evening, we'll see temperatures slowly start to drop off under partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. Winds should start to calm down as well as we head into the evening. However, as the cold air moves in, some of our friends in the northwest part of our area, again, say Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, could be about 20 degrees cooler than this already as we head into the evening, but all of us heading for lows into the mid-30s tonight. Much colder tomorrow, but more sunshine. 44 on our Thursday, 25 for the low. And we still have an active weather pattern ahead of us. Some evening showers possible Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. Temperatures warming up, though, back to the lower 60s by Sunday. On Sunday, there's a pretty good shot of severe weather out in central Kansas, and there's the possibility that some of those storms, they should be weakening by the time they get here, but they could make it to our area by Monday morning, so we could be dealing with additional thunderstorms by next Monday morning, and of course, we'll keep an eye on this as we get closer. 56 Monday, 62 Tuesday, 67 Wednesday, more showers and another cold spell. 48 Thursday with some showers, 40 on Friday, and as we get a little bit cooler, we could see some light showers, maybe a light wintry mix by the end of next week. Again, we're continuing to monitor the storms as they develop. Any severe weather alerts, we'll bring them right to you. And we'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Well, this isn't exactly what a couple from North Carolina had in mind when they got married over the weekend. The bride, the groom, and the wedding party needed rescuing when they suddenly got stuck in their hotel. Hannah Getz has their story.
This isn't the typical receiving line you see after a wedding. But then again, Ponav and Victoria Jaw's wedding was anything but typical.
I was freaking out. I'm not gonna lie, it's only like you hear this in movies.
After their wedding Saturday night, they loaded into the elevator of the Grand Bohemian Hotel, heading to the 16th floor for their after party, when the unimaginable happened.
We got up maybe 5 feet and then boom, doors kind of stuck. Then the door started to open. And so I could see like the concrete wall right in front of me and I could see the concrete wall behind me. I was like, that's not normal.
Instead of wedding bells, They were hearing the voices of Charlotte firefighters 4 stories above them, setting up for a rescue.
Basically what we did as a last resort is we rebuilt a new elevator system using ropes and rescue equipment and overhead anchors.
Crews rappelled down to save the bride, the groom, and 4 of their wedding guests. Here you can see Victoria in her traditional Indian wedding gown, head to toe in jewels, climbing up the ladder.
And I just had to lift it and just climb the very narrow staircase, one after the other.
Puna followed, and the final photo? 2.5 hours later, safe and sound. Today, they thank Charlotte firefighters for their quick response and a story to last a lifetime. But the question still lingers. Did they make it to the after party?
We did not. The bar closed. We had great friends who were hosting for us, so they took care of everyone.
Just express my gratitude and appreciation for taking my husband and I out safely and the rest of the team, and the way you guys did it. It was safe, efficient, and I appreciate you all.
Man, what a story. Hotel released a statement saying both the Grand Bohemian and the fire department went above and beyond for those guests. As for the Jazz, they are both doctors and hope to go on their honeymoon in May. We'll be back after the break. A new study suggests there's a 400-mile-wide ball of iron at the center of the Earth. In addition, Australian geoscientists now say they can show the Earth has 5 major layers instead of 4. Researchers have used seismic data from earthquakes and volcanoes to help make their findings. They believe their discovery could eventually explain some of our planet's oldest mysteries, such as the behavior of the Earth's magnetic field. Well, Mardi Gras got its party on yesterday, but maybe no one more so than these senior revelers. The Milwaukee Dancing Grannies contributed to the festivities. They joined the 610 Stompers dance troupe when the crew of Thoth rolled through the Uptown Parade route. It was a special moment for the Dancing Grannies, who lost multiple members in the deadly 2021 Christmas parade attack in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
All right, we've got our alert day for today. We're still anticipating strong to severe thunderstorms between about 6 and 11 this morning. We're still anticipating a severe thunderstorm watch for northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas here within the next 10 minutes or so. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Showers, some thunderstorms trying to get going across the area along and south of I-44, all associated with this main batch continuing to lift off to the north-northeast. And right now, latest reports show it moving at about 50 miles an hour, so it has slowed down a bit. We also have wind advisories northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas through 6 o'clock this evening. So here's what we're looking at in terms of the severe potential. We have a low-end tornado risk for those in the brown, same area with hail, low-end risk there, and a medium risk for wind. Wind is looking to be the biggest threat from these storms, as we're looking at the possibility of some damaging straight-line winds of 60, 70 miles an hour. Now, the large hail threat and the tornado threat are not zero. They're very low, but they're not zero, so we do have that low possibility. We'll keep an eye on all these storms as they roll through. Now, these storms will continue with us through the morning hours, and again, some of them strong to possibly severe out there. By about noon, we still have a few showers and thunderstorms out there, but they're going to be on their way out, leaving us with some scattered showers by about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And as we head into the rest of the afternoon and evening, for the most part, we're going to be partly cloudy. It's still mild, but as we head later into the night, you can see the cold air start moving in into the northwestern part of our area. Rainfall, we're looking 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch for most of southeast Kansas, and then here from southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma, anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches, and of course locally higher amounts possible with some of the thunderstorms. MoDOT camera 32nd in range line. It's been raining off and on in Joplin, so the roads are wet. Right now we're at 67, south-southwest breeze at 15, still gusting to 29 out there with some light showers being reported. Humidity and dew point levels are up. 63 Iola, 67 Pittsburgh, 69 Miami, and 67 Neosho in Carthage. And as we go through our day, again, showers and thunderstorms hanging with us through the morning hours. Some of those could be strong, possibly severe, and temperatures in the low 60s. We'll have more on the severe threat today when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Raising a whole new crop of problems for schools.
And we do have our alert day for today. Strong to severe thunderstorms moving into the area. We'll break down the latest coming up.
And gun sales on the rise. KOAM Shagun Bombadele takes us to a gun shop in Joplin to see what's behind the increase in sales and firearm training classes.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So just after 6 o'clock, we are watching strong to severe thunderstorms possible as we head through the morning hours. Now, as we've been mentioning, we're anticipating a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas. It has not come down as of yet, but we are keeping a close eye on that. These storms anywhere between 6 and 11 this morning, and some of them starting to get going. They're trying across parts of southwest Missouri and into northeast Oklahoma. As you can see, we're actually starting to get a few more lightning strikes with some of these storms into Delaware County and parts of southeastern Ottawa County, associated with more storms across parts of northeast Oklahoma, lifting off to the north-northeast at about 50 miles an hour as of the latest report. We also have wind advisories, northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas through 6 this evening, as it's going to continue to be breezy outside of the thunderstorms that we see. Here's what we're looking at. We've got a low tornado risk and a low large hail risk, but we do have that medium wind risk for those in yellow. The primary threat from these storms is looking to be damaging straight line winds. However, there is the possibility for an isolated tornado or two and possibly some isolated large hail. So, of course, we'll keep an eye on this as it rolls through. Showers and thunderstorms ongoing through the morning hours. Some of those, again, strong to severe, and they'll continue all the way to the noon hour. By noon, they're going to be weakening a bit, but we may still have a few thunderstorms out there. However, as we head to about 2 o'clock, we start to just see a few isolated showers left, and as the afternoon and evening progress, we're going to be left with partly cloudy skies, and as we head later into the evening, folks off to the northwest are going to start to feel that cool down first, while some of us down here are almost 20 degrees warmer. In terms of precipitation, southeast Kansas, we're looking at roughly 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of rain, and then right along and south of I-44, we're looking at 1/2 inch to possibly 1.5 inches, and of course we could see some locally heavier amounts with some of the thunderstorm activity. MODOC camera, 30-second in range line. We've got wet roads. It's been raining off and on in Joplin. We are sitting at a very mild 67 degrees with some light showers, south-southwest breeze at 15, gusting to 29. Dew points at 60, humidity at 79%. So while it is unusual for us to get severe weather this time of day, we have all the ingredients in place for some of these stronger storms out there. Look at these temperatures: 64 Iola, 67 Parsons, 68 Miami, 66 Neosho, and 67 Carthage and Lamar. And as we go through the day, showers and thunderstorms, breezy conditions through the morning. Again, some strong to severe, temperatures holding in the lower 60s. We hit our high. Some of us are still at that point early today of 69. Showers and thunderstorms clearing out by about 2 o'clock. Partly cloudy, breezy, 62 by 4. And as we head into this evening, we'll see partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, and we will all eventually drop to lows in the 30s as we head into early tomorrow morning. Of course, we're still monitoring the storms, and if any watches or warnings are issued, we'll bring them right to you. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a missing Washington State boy is found in Jasper County, Missouri. According to the FBI, deputies found 8-year-old Breedson John of Vancouver, Washington, near Joplin on Friday. The boy was reported missing last summer after community members reported they had not seen him. Vancouver police said that prosecutors charged the boy's grandparents with custodial interference. They are suspects in his disappearance. Child Protective Services officers from Washington are traveling to Missouri to get Breedson John. A skydiving incident at Adventure Skydiving Center in Sallisaw, Oklahoma leaves one woman dead. It happened on Saturday. Authorities responded to a report of a skydiver who had been injured in a solo skydive. They say 44-year-old Heather Glasgow of Poto, Oklahoma struck the ground after an unknown issue during her skydive. Police say witnesses said her parachute fully deployed, but she was in a spin. She was pronounced dead that evening. A Joplin gun shop reports an increase in gun sales and firearm classes. Joplin Center Fire is seeing a surge in the number of people visiting the store, which has resulted in a significant increase in sales. One possible explanation for the increase in sales is concerns about personal safety.
as of recently, though, the behavior of the consumer wanting to educate themselves how to deal with that, purchase the tool to help themselves deal with that and educate themselves how to deal with that, I think, yes, there has been an increase in that. Because with the sales along with that here has come an increase in personal protection training that we've seen in the last year or two, more than we've seen in the last 5 years we've been open.
We'll hear more from a local community member and a firearm instructor in our next hour. Not only are we seeing an increase in gun sales in the 4 states, the Newton County Sheriff says there's an increase of marijuana possession with students in school. KOAM's Yana Tula talked with a Newton County Sheriff and a school district about what they're seeing.
Since the legalization of recreational marijuana in Missouri, some Newton County school resource officers are noticing more students with the substance.
It's getting to be more of a problem every day, especially since the law passed. At least the schools that are represented by my school resource officers have seen an increase.
Newton County Sheriff Chris Jennings says marijuana is not good for developing minds.
They actually will smell it burning in the schools, I believe. Just like kids used to smoke cigarettes in the bathroom, now they smoke marijuana in the bathroom, it seems like. It's not just the marijuana, it's the marijuana gummies. They're definitely noticing an increase.
Sheriff Jennings says SROs at Diamond and East Newton High Schools are reporting the most issues. Neosho school leaders say they haven't seen an uptick.
Any type of narcotics violation or drug violation, even marijuana, is still prohibited. So it typically results in discipline, and that's usually an out-of-school suspension of some type, the length of which will be determined on a case-by-case basis. Some type of treatment and monitoring may also be ordered.
Law enforcement may also turn children caught with marijuana over to juvenile authorities.
While it may be legal for adults, it's not legal for the kids in school, and it's creating a lot of bad atmosphere in schools, especially for the kids that aren't interested in that.
Schools are drug-free zones, and those caught with marijuana could face charges. In Newton County, Yana Haudala, KOAM News.
Students 18 and older caught with marijuana are referred to the Newton County Circuit Court. Juvenile cases go through the 40th Judicial Circuit. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the push is underway for a change on America's rail system in the wake of the derailment in East Palestine. We'll have the latest. Plus, according to one new study, teens who have suffered a concussion can benefit from the simple act of breathing exercises. Chris has an eye on your severe weather in the 4 states. We'll have the latest when we come back. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the Transportation Secretary is pushing for change on America's railways in the wake of the derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, that led to toxic chemicals being released in the air and water. He's also apologizing for not speaking about it sooner. Meanwhile, officials on the ground are trying a new tactic to reassure residents their drinking water is safe. Jared Hill has the latest.
More than 2 weeks after the fiery train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, released toxic chemicals into the air and water, Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg admits he waited too long to speak.
Could have spoken sooner about how strongly I felt about this incident, and that's a lesson learned for me.
He's now pushing for new regulations along America's railways and promising a visit to the site in the future. Former President Trump is planning a trip today to the community still worried about their health.
Here's to you.
With a toast from the tap, Ohio's governor and the head of the Environmental Protection Agency are trying to show residents the water is safe to drink. The state's EPA says they've helped test the air in more than 500 homes so far, and levels have come back normal.
However long it takes, we're going to work to earn your trust.
The EPA is making it clear rail operator Norfolk Southern will be responsible for the cost of cleanup. The company has already committed more than $6 million to the community. Republican Governor Mike DeWine is pushing for more federal action.
There is something fundamentally wrong when a train like this can come into a state and the current law does not require, despite what they were hauling, does not require them to notify the state or local officials.
That call for change has growing bipartisan support. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
In a statement, Norfolk Southern CEO said it's clear the company did not have safety precautions in place to prevent the accident. That's a look at one of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we still have our alert day today. Showers and thunderstorms continuing to develop. In fact, as we head into parts of southwest Missouri and into northeast Oklahoma, starting to get some lightning returns on some of these storms, all associated with this bigger batch here as it continues to lift off to the northeast. So moving into our area before too much longer. No watches or warnings at this time, but we are continuing to monitor the situation as it develops. We do, however, have wind advisories for northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas through 6. All of us going to see some breezy conditions today. We're going to take a more in-depth look at our severe threat today and the rest of our forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
It's Teen Week on Wheels.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We have our alert day today for some strong to severe thunderstorms through the morning hours. We're starting to see some of those thunderstorms begin to develop across the area, getting a little bit more lightning. And as a matter of fact, we do have some stronger thunderstorms now moving into the northwestern Delaware County area, heading up toward Grove. No warnings or watches as of yet, but we are keeping an eye on these storms, all part of this bigger batch that's continuing to lift northeast out of Oklahoma and into our area. And these are expected to intensify as they continue to move closer to us. Now, we do still have wind advisories for northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas through 6 this evening. All of us going to see some windy conditions as we go through today. Here's the threats we're looking at. Now, overall, the tornado risk is relatively low. Same with the large hail risk. Our biggest concern is with damaging straight line winds. We do have a medium risk for those of us in the yellow shade here, so that's something we're keeping an eye on. However, some isolated large hail and possibly an isolated tornado or two, not out of the question. Not likely, but not out of the question. These showers and thunderstorms will persist through the morning hours once this batch gets up here. And again, through the morning, some of those could be strong to severe. By the time we get to noon, they're starting to lose some of their punch. Still a few thunderstorms possible around the noon hour. But as we head past that, by 2 o'clock, maybe some scattered showers. And as we get to the 4 o'clock hour, maybe a stray shower or two up by Fort Scott. But outside of that, we start to see partly cloudy skies and decent temperatures, believe it or not, but still breezy. However, as we head into the evening, look off to the northwest, temperatures begin to fall out there. In terms of rainfall, we're looking at anywhere from about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch for the majority of southeast Kansas. And then here in the blue, we're looking 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of rain possible. And of course, we could see some locally heavier amounts with any of the thunderstorm activity that we see. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line, looking off to roughly the south-southwest. You can see the roads are wet. We've had the intermittent rain showers in the Joplin area. Our camera at 7th and range line pointed back the direction of where these storms are coming from. We got 67 in Joplin, some light showers. Our dew point humidity are up there. South-southwest breeze at 15, gusts to 29. So while severe thunderstorms this time of day are unusual for us, we do have all the ingredients in place for these storms to pick up some strength as they move into the area. And take a look at some of these temperatures too. This is what we're talking about. It is, 6:17 in the morning on February 22nd, and we've got 67 Chanute, Parsons, 68 Parsons, Miami, 66 Neosho, and 67 in Carthage. So very abnormally warm temperatures for us. Through the morning, showers, thunderstorms, breezy conditions. We're looking at some of those again to be strong to severe. Temperatures for the most part holding in the lower 60s. We're hitting our highs now. Our warmest weather is going to be now. And then as we go through the day, we'll be sitting in those lower 60s. By 4, still a bit breezy, down to 62. As we head into the overnight, we'll all eventually drop into the 30s as we head into early tomorrow morning. Some of us will get there a little bit before the rest of us do. So as we look at this, we're down to about 49 by 10 o'clock, partly cloudy to mostly clear skies across the area. So let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. So of course, we've got our alert day today. We're going to be watching those showers and thunderstorms for you. 44 on Thursday, colder, but more sunshine, down to 25 for the low. We have evening shower chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we start to warm up, 47, 54, 63. Now, on Sunday, they're watching the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms out in central Kansas. Those thunderstorms are expected to be weakening as they head to the east, but we could be dealing with some additional thunderstorm chances as we head into next Monday morning. So we'll keep an eye on that for you over the next several days. 56 by Monday, not a bad day Tuesday, up to 62. Wednesday, some showers, almost 70 degrees. After that, though, take a look. Temperatures drop again down to 35 next Wednesday, 48 by Thursday, maybe some showers. And as we remain cool, 40 by Friday, we could see some light showers, maybe even a light wintry mix by next Friday. So, of course, we're keeping an eye on all of these storms as they continue to move in. If we get any watches or warnings, we will, of course, update you immediately. We've got meteorologist Sam Lane here in the Skywatch Weather Center as well, and we'll continue to track these storms as the morning progresses. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, any exercise, even as little as once a month, can help preserve mental function and memory. A major study in the Journal of Neurology, Neurosurgery, and Psychiatry showed a link between exercise and lower risk of dementia and cognitive decline. Well, even a little exercise can help. People who exercised regularly throughout adulthood saw the most benefit. Well, breathing practice combined with exercise can help improve concussion symptoms in teens. Study by the American Academy of Neurology had teens experiencing long-term concussion symptoms practice slow breathing for 20 minutes a night. Those who also did physical exercise saw improvements in memory skills, mood, and depression. And new research finds Black patients are more likely to experience dialysis graft failure. An AV graft is a flexible tube used to connect arteries and veins to help treat kidney failure. Study published in Radiology found disparities in the effectiveness of treatment among Black people. Doctors say more research needs to be done to understand the disparity. Well, growing evidence shows the impact of racism leads to certain groups having a tougher time getting a full night's sleep, putting them at higher risk for bigger health problems. Jared Hill has more.
Getting a good night's sleep can be easier said than done, but new research shows for Black Americans, it may be even harder.
National data indicate that Black adults and other non-white adults have poorer sleep.
A 2022 study from Yale University found Black Americans had the highest rate of short sleep compared to their white and non-white counterparts.
We want to be able to address disparities in sleep because we know that sleep is associated with some of the leading causes of death, including cardiovascular disease.
Mercedes Carnathon at Northwestern University Feinberg School of Medicine says it's not because of biological differences.
It's more likely attributed to social and structural factors that influence our opportunity to get good sleep.
Factors like noise pollution, whether it's traffic, construction, factories, or airports, research has shown Black Americans are more likely to live in communities where the noise levels are higher. Another factor, social stress. Sean Adeoye says it wasn't until the racial justice protests of 2020 that she really started having trouble sleeping.
My mind is constantly worried about things around me. If when my daughter is gone, I'm worried that she's going to be pulled over by the police.
The single mom from Chicago says that doesn't just mean she's more tired.
I suddenly have high blood pressure, and I know that it's due to the anxiety. I know that it has a sleep component. It all goes together.
Experts know the solutions aren't simple, but they hope awareness can be a start. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Experts recommend people try to create the best environment to sleep for the circumstances, turning off the TV and other devices before bed, and discuss challenges with their doctor. That's a look at one of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Yeah, we've still got our alert day for today for those strong to severe thunderstorms getting going across parts of northeast Oklahoma. No watches or warnings as of yet, but we're continuing to watch these showers and storms develop across the region. We're starting to get some stronger storms in parts of Delaware County, in the northwestern portions right around the Grove area, and we're continuing to watch this entire batch move on off to the northeast, and we've even seen some development into the Newton County area as well. But again, no watches or warnings as of right now, but if that changes, we'll let you know right away. We got wind advisories, northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas. Those will run until 6 this evening. Let's take a look at what we're looking at in terms of the severe threat today. So overall, we've got a pretty low tornado risk and a pretty low large hail risk out there. The biggest threat we're expecting out of these storms is straight line damaging winds. And you can see in the yellow, that's where our medium risk area is. So that's what we're going to be watching for. However, we could see an isolated tornado or two. We could also see an isolated large hail report or two with these storms. So just be weather aware as you head through the morning and get ready for work, get ready for school. Because again, this is some unusual timing for severe weather here in the 4 states. All right, we go through the morning. We're going to have these showers, thunderstorms persisting through the morning hours. Some of those could be strong to severe. By the time we get to noon, we've got some lingering showers and thunderstorms, but they're starting to lose their punch. And by the time we head into the 2 o'clock hour, a few stray showers out there, and we start to really clear out as we head into the evening, but we stay breezy. We're looking at roughly 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of rain in most of southeast Kansas, and maybe upwards from 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches for us in southwest Missouri, parts of northeast Oklahoma. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line. It is raining again in Joplin as these showers continue to move into the area. We got our camera at 7th and range line pointed back toward the direction of these incoming storms. We're at 67 in Joplin right now. Dew point 60 and humidity is up to 79%. So it's very muggy out there, which is, again, quite unusual for this time of year. South-southwest breeze at 15, gusting to 29. Warm temperatures across the area. 64 Iola, 69 Chetopa, 68 Miami, and 66 Neosho, Carthage, and Lamar. So again, showers and thunderstorms, breezy conditions through the morning. Temperatures in the lower 60s. We're hitting our highs right about now, and then we'll just be in the lower 60s, upper 50s through the day. We'll start to clear out later this afternoon. Down to 35 for an overnight low tonight. We'll all get downright chilly. Some of us in our northwestern counties may get cool before the rest of us do, and we'll have partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, and the winds will start calming down. We'll have more of the KOAM morning news right after this.
Right now.
Right now at 6:30, farmers to the rescue. A Southwest Missouri organization wants to make sure everyone in the community has food to eat.
We've got our alert day for today. Strong to severe thunderstorms rolling in this morning. We're keeping an eye on that situation, and we'll have the latest on these thunderstorms coming up.
And we meet a man who lost the use of his legs due to an autoimmune disorder, but that did not stop him from becoming a champion.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. We're here tracking these thunderstorms as they roll into the area. Meteorologist Sam Lane here with us as well. So far, no watches or warnings in the area, but of course these storms continuing to intensify as they roll into our part of the region. We still have that alert day. Again, those severe thunderstorms possible from now to 11 o'clock this morning. Here's a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We're starting to see more of that thunderstorm activity moving into the area. We've still got some stronger storms over parts of Delaware County as this continues to lift off to the northeast, all part of this bigger batch, this nice line of storms that's been rolling north-northeast out of eastern Oklahoma and continues to roll our way, and it's running into some areas where we've got a little more favorability for these storms to intensify, so that's why we're continuing to watch them. We have wind advisories, northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas through 6 this evening because, once again, it's going to be a pretty breezy day. In terms of the severe threat, we've got a low tornado threat for those in the brown, a low large hail risk for those in that brown shade. Our biggest concern is with damaging straight line winds. That's where we've got that medium risk for those of us in the yellow. That's our biggest concern with these storms, but again, an isolated tornado or possibly some large hail cannot be ruled out as these storms move into the area. And they will persist through the morning hours as we go from now up until about 11 o'clock again. Some of those could be on the strong to severe side. By the time we reach noon, we're starting to lose some of that intensity, but we could still have some ongoing thunderstorms across the region, especially in southwest Missouri. By about 2 o'clock, we got some stray showers out there, and as we head later into the afternoon and early evening, we're left with just partly cloudy skies and mild conditions for the most part, but our northwestern counties are going to start to get in on some cooler air before the rest of us do, so there's going to be some temperature fluctuations out there. All right, rain totals. We're looking at 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, roughly, in southeast Kansas. The rest of us could see anywhere from 1/2 an inch to 1.5 inches, so we are keeping an eye on that. Rain falling on the MoDOT camera at 32nd and range line, same at 7th and range line. 67 in Joplin, south-southwest breeze at 15, gusting to 29. Abnormally warm temperatures this morning. 64 Iola, 68 Miami, 66 Neosho and Carthage. Going through your morning, again, showers, thunderstorms, breezy conditions, temperatures in the low 60s. We've hit our highs, and we are hitting our highs now in the upper 60s, and we will be in the lower 60s as we go through the rest of the day and start clearing out by the time we hit the early evening. We'll continue to track these storms, and if any watches or warnings pop up, we'll let you know. Tanya, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. The Southwest Missouri organization is trying to make sure everyone in the community has access to fresh produce. The 100 Women Who Care chapter of Jasper and Newton counties donated $3,600 to the Webb City Farmers Market WIC program. That program helps provide fresh fruits and vegetables to families in need.
Gets them involved in picking fruits and vegetables that they've never seen before, that maybe they can't really even afford. Gets them into herbs, gets them into the dirt, if you can say that, because of the gardening. So I think that's what really touched our heart.
Webb City Farmers Market is open on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon. One man in Independence, Kansas was told he may never walk again after battling an autoimmune disorder. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to him about how he beat the odds.
Brian Abbey woke up one morning feeling a little off. By the next day, he was unable to move.
Pain, like the numbness, and then it'd be tingling and muscle spasms. Like my feet would just, they still do, like at night when I lay down, it just kick.
Brian was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder that took his ability to use his legs. This came out the blue to not only Brian, but also his family.
The first month or so of his sickness, it was pretty hard mentally and emotionally.
Due to this, Brian had to stop enjoying his passion for cornhole. And his kids noticed.
He used to play cornhole all the time, but whenever he was in the hospital, he couldn't, and he really loves to play it.
After being treated at Madonna Rehabilitation Hospital, Brian was back on his feet after 3 months. Doctors speculated that Brian would have never walked again.
It's been a struggle, but hey, you know what? I'm blessed. I started getting my movements, my toes first, then doing this, and basically, then I started pushing on a bike, and the next thing I did is start kicking my feet up. Just step by step.
This Tuesday night cornhole was special. Brian was able to hug some friends and sink in some beanbags.
They're so happy I'm here. They know tonight I'm here, and it's unreal. At first I didn't know what was going on. I had to learn how to live in a wheelchair.
As Brian returns to his passion for cornhole, he held his head up high with pride.
You can do anything. If they tell you got a chance, you just keep on fighting. And I'm going to tell you, God was on my hands, and I had so many people praying.
Reporting in Independence, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Brian dedicates his speedy recovery to Madonna Rehabilitation Hospital's specialized equipment. Well, this morning we're discussing the politics of abortion.
Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach recently sent a letter to Walgreens warning them that sending abortion pills to Kansas through the mail would be in violation of Kansas law.
Earlier this year, the FDA finalized a rule change under the Biden administration allowing pharmacies to seek certification to dispense the abortion pill. CVS and Walgreens are two of the groups currently seeking that certification.
Kansas law states it is mandatory for a doctor to be present whenever any abortion procedure or pill is administered. Recently, Kansas voted that abortion would remain constitutionally protected in the state. And that brings us to our question for you this morning. Should abortion pills be allowed through the mail? Yes or no? So far, 64% of you say no. 35% of you that just updated say yes. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, through the app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page.
Earlier, it was more 50-50.
It was, so we're starting to get some change in there.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News.
Home Depot investing millions into a project coming up. We'll have the latest on that. And its employees. And we're going to take another look at our severe weather threat today when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Save up to 40% and pay your way with 36-month zero-interest financing.
Or pay cash for an extra 10% off.
Get your home ready for all your friends and family.
In Consumer Watch this morning, Home Depot says it's raising its starting pay to $15 an hour beginning this month. It's part of the home improvement chain's $1 billion investment for workers across its more than 2,000 stores in the U.S. and Canada. Home Depot's CEO says the pay hike will help the company attract and retain the best talent. And today, Mickey D's lovers in Germany can start ordering the new plant-based McNuggets. The nuggets are made from peas, corn, and wheat with a tempura batter. The product marks the second partnership between McDonald's and Beyond Meat following the McPlant. Plant-based sandwich is also launching in Germany this week after its success in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Austria, and the Netherlands. Please don't come here. McDonald's says its plant-based offerings have fared better in Europe, though they could eventually become available in other markets depending on customer demand. Each to his own, I guess. Well, the Supreme Court is hearing back-to-back oral arguments this week in two pivotal cases that could reshape online speech and content moderations while carrying significant stakes for the wider internet. Chris Wynn has more on the legal battle ahead and how it could ultimately impact you.
At the Supreme Court, the battle over free expression online is coming to a head.
The way the internet works today may fundamentally change as a result of what the Supreme Court decides.
This week, two cases are being heard, and the outcomes could determine whether tech platforms and social media companies can be sued for recommending content to their users or for supporting acts of international terrorism by hosting terrorist content.
We have this very rare instance where a lot of people in DC agree that something needs to be done. They haven't been able to meet that point where they can actually agree on the answer.
At the heart of it all, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, a 27-year-old federal law that protects websites like Google, Twitter, and others from lawsuits over what their users post online. Some Democrats, including President Joe Biden, say it prevents tech giants from being held accountable for spreading misinformation and hate speech. But many Republicans allege that it gives big tech a license to censor conservative viewpoints.
The Supreme Court's ruling exposes how vulnerable the internet is to regulatory interventions and how at risk we are of being faced with a very different internet.
Some experts question if the justices are equipped to make a sound decision, partly because they don't use social media enough to fully understand it.
It's a structural problem with Supreme Court that when they make legislative-like decisions, they don't have the expertise the legislature has, and they don't hear from all the people that might be affected.
Potentially adding to an uncertain playbook over how to regulate online speech.
That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Now we're continuing to track some showers and thunderstorms moving into the area out of northeast Oklahoma, now making their way into southwest Missouri. So the good news is so far we have not had any watches or warnings out there. We're just at the wrong time of day. So as we mentioned, it's unusual for severe weather this time of day, and it's just so far we're just not seeing the intensification out of these storms, but that is still a possibility, and we'll continue to watch them through the morning. We got wind advisories northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas through 6 this evening as we'll stay breezy. Still that possibility of some stronger to severe storms out there. A low-end tornado risk, low-end large hail risk. If any of these do start to get nasty, we're looking at straight line damaging winds as the primary threat. Now we'll see these showers and thunderstorms persist through the morning hours, and again, some of them could decide to get strong to severe. By noon, they start losing some of that intensity, but we could still have a few stray storms out there. By 2 o'clock, it's a handful of showers, and by 4, we are looking at partly cloudy skies and some pretty decent temperatures across the region. As we take a look at rain to fall totals, a 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch in southeast Kansas, 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches possible in southwest Missouri. Raining in Joplin on the MoDOT camera at 32nd in range line, as well as 7th in range line. We're sitting at 67 rather in Joplin, Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, 66 Miami, and 66 in Neosho. So again, we'll have those showers and thunderstorms and breezy conditions persist through the morning. Temperatures in the lower 60s as we head toward the noon hour. We're back with more right after this. All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays across the area, and we begin with John Tanner Stewart celebrating the big number 1. It says so loved by Mommy, Daddy, Papa, and Nana. Happy birthday.
All right, Raylan Raquel Fuentes celebrating birthday number 1 as well. What a cutie there. Formerly from Oswego, Kansas, now residing out in California. Love Papi and Nani.
And we've got Gracie Lovell in Arma celebrating birthday number 2. Happy birthday, Gracie.
Oh, what a sweetheart. And Cooper Miller. This is like cute kid day, I think. Cooper is 4 years old. He is in Columbus.
And over in Oronogo, we've got Wyatt Kaufman celebrating number 5 in style there with love from Grandma and Grandpa. Happy birthday, Wyatt.
This is why I never eat the blue cupcakes before the noon show. Yes. Jace Williams, happy birthday number 6 with love from Mom, Dad, and Cash.
And we've got Aaliyah Willoughby celebrating number 7. Happy birthday, sweet girl. We love you, Mom, Dad, and brother.
All right, Violet Marquez turning 10 years old this year in Joplin. We love you from your family.
And we've got Caitlin Ford in Chanute celebrating number 11. Happy birthday, Caitlin.
Ainsley Norton turning 17 years old this year in Girard.
And Cole Burns celebrating number 24 in Joplin with love from Grandma and Grandpa.
And Sarah Vaca, our friend Sarah turning 38 years old. Definitely doesn't look it. Sarah in Pittsburgh.
And we've got Misty Snow in Joplin turning 51, and she's the office manager at Cornerstone Medical. Hopefully Misty gets some time off today. Happy birthday.
Ronald Mercer turning the big 80 this year in Columbus.
And we've got Faye Pack celebrating number 88 in Chanute. And Faye is the gentleman in the blue shirt. Happy birthday.
All right. And Sue Trim turning 91 years old. Sue looking good there in Thayer, Kansas.
And last but not least, Indy Pipkin celebrating birthday number 9 in Lamar with love from Papa and Gigi. Happy birthday to all of you. We want more birthdays, and Tanya knows exactly where you need to send those birthdays.
That's right. All you have to do is send them to this email, birthdays with an S at KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include all the details of who, when, and how old they are, but don't forget that picture as well.
And of course, while you're on our website, especially today, if you're checking out the latest on the forecast, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. It is really easy to do, and you get great deals from local businesses. And on top of that, and more importantly, a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So make sure you sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club by heading over to KOAMnewsnow.com. All right, so this morning, we've got some good news so far. Because it is the morning and it is an unusual time for severe weather, we haven't seen any warnings or watches. Now, we've seen some stronger storms in northeast Oklahoma, moving into southwest Missouri, but we haven't seen any warnings or watches. Now, we still have our alert day through at least 11 as we continue to watch these storms, because there's still that possibility that a few of them may decide to go rogue and get a little strong to severe on us as we go through the morning. For example, look to the northwest of Pittsburgh. We got some new development taking place in Crawford County. We're still watching showers and thunderstorms across northeast Oklahoma, and here's where we're seeing some of the stronger activity as it rolls through northeast Oklahoma and into southwest Missouri. Now, we do have wind advisories, northeast Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas through 6 this evening. Because, yeah, you guessed it, storms aside, it's going to be breezy again today. Hey, and this is actually new information. Storm Prediction Center has updated some information. It looks as though our severe threats have been scaled back pretty significantly. Still got a medium risk for wind, but as you can see, it's now much further to the southwest. This is starting to trend out of the area, so it looks like we may miss out on some of the severe weather for most of us, but we'll still keep an eye on these storms through this morning. We're still going to see them, though. Thunderstorms still likely as we go through the morning hours. Some rain showers out there as well. We'll have some afternoon thunderstorms, say between noon and 1. Those will be losing some intensity. Then we'll be just with some showers by this afternoon, and then partly cloudy skies and fairly mild temperatures across the area as well as we head into the evening. And then as we go into the late evening hours, friends in our northwestern counties cooling off faster than those of us to the southeast, but we're all going to start to get pretty darn chilly. Here's what we're looking at. Rain, 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch in southeast Kansas, 1/2 inch to maybe 1.5 inches in parts of southwest Missouri. Raining in Joplin right now on the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range Line. Same situation from 7th and Range Line. We're at 67 in Joplin, south-southwest breeze at 15, gusting to 29 out there, and it will remain gusty through the majority of today. 64 Iola, 67 Pittsburgh, Chetopa, 66 Miami, Neosho, and 67 in Carthage. Going through the day, showers, thunderstorms. Again, we're still keeping the eye. Some of these could be a little on the strong side. Breezy conditions and temperatures hovering for the most part in the lower 60s. We've been hitting our highs early this morning upwards around 69 degrees. We'll be in the upper 50s, lower 60s through the afternoon hours. We start to clear out later today. Then we'll be partly cloudy to mostly clear heading into the evening. Now, again, off to the northwest, you're going to cool down a bit quicker than this, but all of us looking at lows dropping back into the 30s. All right, tomorrow, considerably colder, but more sunshine, 44 down to 25 Thursday night. Evening showers possible Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but temperatures gradually warming up into the lower 60s by Sunday. Sunday, we've been talking about, there's the threat of some strong to severe thunderstorms out across central Kansas and central Oklahoma. These should be on the de-intensification stage, if you will. They shouldn't be as strong as they roll into our area, but we could deal with some showers and thunderstorms heading into Monday morning up to 56. And then by Tuesday of next week, looking pretty good. We got partly cloudy skies and 62. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities respond to an apartment fire in the Northern Heights neighborhood of Joplin just before 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. Joplin Fire Department, Joplin Police Department, and Met's ambulance responded to reports of the structure fire. Authorities reported seeing visible smoke. No one was inside the apartment. The cause of the fire is under investigation. A tractor trailer hauling grain overturns near the Missouri-Kansas state line just before 7 a.m. Tuesday. Authorities received reports of a crash involving a tractor trailer along Missouri 171 near Redbud Road. Asbury Fire Department, Jasper County Sheriff's deputies, and Met's ambulance responded. Highway Patrol was also notified. Troopers say a southbound semi traveled into oncoming traffic, clipped a pickup truck, crashed on the east side of the road, and overturned. The grain it was hauling spilled out in the field. A 7-year-old girl is fighting for her life in New York City after she was stabbed multiple times, police say at the hands of her own grandmother. Officers found the girl on her bed with multiple stab wounds to her neck, stomach, and back. She was rushed to a hospital where she remains in critical but stable condition. Grandmother is in custody. She's undergoing a psychiatric evaluation at a hospital. No charges have been filed at this time. And a moment of silence was held Tuesday for the 3 Michigan State University students killed in last week's shooting. 5 others were injured and 2 of them remain in critical condition. While classes resume Monday, no classes will be held in the rooms where students were shot and killed or wounded, at least through the remainder of the semester. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we're still watching showers and thunderstorms overspreading the area. They'll be out of here by about 1 o'clock, maybe a stray shower around 2. We'll be partly cloudy. We hit our highs early. We'll be in the lower 60s through the rest of the morning. All of us getting chilly tonight, back down to 35 for an overnight low under partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. And as we head through the week, we're chilly tomorrow. Showers possible Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe some morning thunderstorms on Monday.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making bistro pan-seared scallops in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. The massive Midwest storm that has 22 states under weather alerts. That's what's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we're headed to one Arizona town where there's a 4-legged gang running loose.
Plus, and speaking of running loose, we've got a story on the latest fashion statement that may have you running for the hills.
Interesting.
That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you again today at noon.